7 months. That's about how long we've been locked away in our homes due to the current state of the world. And while things may be getting better, depending on your point of view, the world continues to slowly open again. However, there's still some parts of our lives that have yet to return to any sort of normalcy, primarily schools, restaurants, businesses, movies, airports, grocery stores, and many other areas of our lives continue to open up. However, many schools continue to stay remote and virtual, forcing students to stay home. And even now, 7 months later, things continue to get progressively worse, at least for the remainder of this year and the start of the next one. This continued delay of open schools has negatively impacted the lives of students and their mental, social, and academic progress. And while the concern of the pandemic continues to grow, schools can and should find a way to allow every student from all grades, kindergarten to college seniors, to return to their schools and create some sense of normalcy in the crazy world we already live in. Students have been affected in numerous ways due to the pandemic, largely due to the fact that normalcy that the school provides no longer exists. Many students have been affected in a variety of ways, some from mental health, some from outside circumstances. And while the pandemic does present health concerns, it's still important that we provide all students a safe and comfortable environment and a consistent place in their lives. One thing the pandemic has affected for both students and adults has been social interaction. The continued lack of interaction with people in physical settings versus an online platform has brought to light the impact of mental health for students. Schools provide more than just an education, but a place for all students to seek to get their needs met in a variety of ways, some with counseling and other mental health services. From an edutopia.org article in June 2020, schools are the de facto health system for many children and adolescents, providing mental health services to 57% of students who need care, according to the authors of a recent study. Schools provide counseling and other health services to students. While some of these services can be performed in a virtual setting, the virtual environment loses its sense of intimacy, comfort, and normalcy that students many times need to feel comfortable and safe. And along with limited access to support services, many students' mental health is being impacted by the continued social isolation that being virtual has. Friendship and social connection is a vital part to living a happy and healthy life, and that's a big thing that schools provide, especially for students. A healthaffairs.com article says, by author Julianne Holt-Lundstad, says that being socially connected in meaningful ways is actually key to human health and survival. And she also talks about mentioning that sacrificing our social connections, we sacrifice our quality of life. So overall, maintaining social and physical connections, which many students gain from being at school, is vital to our lives. And not being at school means that a lot of students have lost a big source of personal connection. Schools also provide a variety of services that are non-mental health related or academic related. According to Samantha Kepler, students often depend on schools for meals, health services, physical activities, and social services, among many others. And due to the pandemic, many students and families suffer. And while some schools have tried to replicate some of those same services virtually or in a more remote setting, it still hasn't gotten to the point where it needs it to be, and it's affected every family differently. And of course, the counter argument can always be made about safety and that students might not have the self-control to operate in a safe environment in school. There have been cases around the world where people have gone back to school and within weeks they've been sent back home because of a lack of social isolation or following health protocols. But at the same time, there have been many cases, especially on high school, college levels, where students have gone back to school in a hybrid or complete in-person setting, but it's been successful because of the implementation of proper protocols and students understanding the vital importance of what they're doing. So at the end of the day, the goal is to support and help every student in the best way possible. And really the best way that can be done is by letting students be in school in person. Both students and teachers have suffered during this remote learning period, and the best way to help both is to be in person. Thank you.